Few players have garnered as much trade attention as Myles Turner. For over a year, the Pacers have been connected in numerous trade rumors, notably with the Los Angeles Lakers. But outside of trade talk, Myles Turner has quietly been in the middle of a career year and has put himself as one of the best centers in the NBA. So let's take a look at his career season and see why just about every team in the NBA would want Myles Turner. Let's start off with him defensively. For a while now, Turner has been one of the best shot blockers and one of the best paint defenders in the league, which shouldn't be too much of a surprise. Standing 7 feet tall with a near 7'4" wingspan, Turner is lethal when it comes to blocking shots in the paint. Despite missing a few games this season recovering from an ankle injury, he is still second in the NBA in blocks per game, averaging a near 2.5 blocks per game. But the best part of Turner's shot blocking is not just his ability to meet people straight up, but it's his surprising athleticism and his ability to block shots from behind or pin them off the backboard. He has the mobility that most 7-footers can only dream of. With that, it's no surprise that he is one of the best in the league when it comes to preventing shots at the restricted arc. Turner is within the top 10 of all centers with the lowest opponent field goal percentage in the restricted area. But note, he also has far more attempts against him than anyone else in the top 10. The only person near him is Jaren Jackson Jr. But his sub-60 opponent field goal percentage is better than some of the most prominent paint defenders such as Rudy Gobert, Nick Claxton, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, and just about every other center in the NBA. No wonder why the Pacers give up the 7th most attempts in the paint, but have the 3rd lowest opposing field goal percentage in the paint. To my surprise, Turner's on-off ratings did not back up his defensive prominence, as opposing offenses are about the same whether Turner's on the court or not, but I do expect this to change throughout the season. Defensively, he has posed a major positive on-off difference for the last few seasons, with opponent offenses being nearly 5 points worse in 2021 and 7 points worse in 2022. The one drawback that I can make on his defense is outside of the rare overextension is his fouls per game have gone up despite playing the same amount of playing time, and in reviewing game film, there were quite a few plays that surprised me that he wasn't getting a foul call, especially with Turner often putting his arm on the hip or the back of the opposing player. Now, he has yet to foul out this season, but even without fouling out, centers who are in foul trouble can't really defend as freely as usual. Now, unlike the past, Turner has been no slouch on offense. While the Pacers may have only gotten better with him a few points offensively, he has been lighting up the stat sheet on the other end. First off, let's talk about his game on the inside. So far, Turner is shooting 81% from 0 to 3 feet, which puts him in the top 25 of the entire NBA. This isn't a big shock as he has some sneaky athletic dunks, averages a putback per game, has an underrated turnaround hook shot, but most importantly of all, Turner has turned into one of the best pick and roll men in the entire league. Last year, Myles Turner was in the middle of all centers in the pick and roll, averaging just 2 points per game at a rate of about 52%. This year, he has doubled that to 4.2 points per game while shooting 56%. While 4 points in the pick and roll may not sound like a lot, that puts him at 6th in the entire NBA, and that's more scoring than Nikola Jokic or Clint Capella. Now, he is aided by the fact that he has Tyrese Halliburton passing to him, one of the most gifted pick and roll ball handlers in the league today, but just like how Turner needs Halliburton, Tyrese benefits from having Myles. Adding to his inside dominance, he is drawing more fouls than ever in his career. He is taking 2 more free throws per game compared to last season. He has a career high free throws attempted as well as a career high free throw percentage. But those are far from the only career highs he is having this season. Myles Turner is also having a career high in points per game, attempts per game, threes made per game, 3-point percentage, true shooting percentage, and player efficiency rating. And while he has always been known as a great 3-point shooter, he is doing even better this season, shooting 41% from 3 on 4 attempts per game. But more importantly, he has supplemented his ability to space the floor with a lethal and efficient game on the inside. And while this is a small thing that we don't really talk about with Turner, but this season has also been a career high for him rebounding wise. And while all of these stats are impressive on their own, they look even better with Turner playing less minutes compared to the last 3 seasons. Something Myles Turner has always been known for is his 3-and-D ability. While we often talk about 3-and-D at the forward position, they can be just as valuable and even more rare at the center. Maxi Kleber, Jaren Jackson Jr., Al Horford, Brook Lopez, Joel Embiid, and Myles Turner are the only centers in the league who can average a block and a 3-pointer made per game. And of those 6, Turner is one of 3 who can shoot over 40% from 3, and he is one of 2 centers who can shoot 40% from 3 while averaging 2 blocks per game. And I think it's safe to say that a current day Brook Lopez is not nearly as prolific on the inside as Turner. Another small thing to look at with Turner is the situation he's been in for the last 5 seasons. Despite some promising play in his early 20s, he was still having to share the ball with Domantas Sabonis being the one to receive all the All-Star appearances and attention for the Pacers. Even after Sabonis was traded, the young and underrated Jalen Smith was brought in as a probable replacement for Turner. And now, for nearly nearly the last 2 seasons, he has been target of trade rumors without a buyer coming through. Not to mention the Pacers also attempted to sign DeAndre Ayton in the offseason, a move that most certainly would have pushed him to the bench. Having to deal with a franchise that may not be putting you at the center and having the thought of being traded at any moment can hang over a player, but Turner has had no drop off in his play. Now, Turner has always been looked at as a trade target. While the Pacers have a solid young core and may even be making the playoffs this season, the thought of Turner getting traded, especially to the Lakers, always comes through. And as a pure trade target goes, he is one that nearly every team can go after or at least benefit from. His $18 million salary is incredibly fair with his current play. He can fit into any team with his 3-and-D style. He's only 26 years old, and minus some injury concerns, he is just someone that every single team in the league could use. But the thing that isn't really being mentioned is that he's on the last year of his current contract and is set to become a free agent next season, meaning any team can sign him and pay him his worth. Now, I doubt the Pacers would just let him walk in the offseason, but this gives the Pacers up until February 9th to find a trade or risk losing his talent for nothing. They could re-sign him, and personally I would love to see that, and I'd love to see this current core continue working together in Indianapolis, but the clock is ticking for them. Turner trade talks are only going to increase as in the next few weeks many free agents will be eligible for trades, which will really kick off the official NBA trade season. No matter what team Turner plays for next season or even later this year, one thing remains certain. Myles Turner has established himself as one of the top 10 centers in the NBA, and he, along with the rest of the Indianapolis Pacers, deserve your respect and attention.